I have a lot of things I want to get off my chest.
Well, enough is enough, and it's time for a change.
Finally, The Rock has come back. I hate this idea that you're the best.
And if you're not down with that, we got two words for ya!
I'm the best in the world.
I fight at WrestleMania for the very, very small percentage of people that walk this planet and say I am proud to be, I'm sorry, a professional wrestler.
Oops, I'm breaking the fourth wall.
It's Podcast of the Immortals with your hosts, Matt Bush and Jimmy Bellamy.
All right, welcome to episode 38 of Podcast of the Immortals. I'm Matt Bush.
My name is Jimmy Bellamy. Hi.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm great.
Good.
And you?
I'm good. We got a heck of a show for you. We have a hell of a show for you.
Watch your language.
We're PG-13 in it.
Oh, TVMA.
TV.
It's gonna get a little TVMA in here. It's a good thing there aren't any cameras.
You know, I never really understood the rating system because it skips like a lot of stuff. Like it goes from saying like crap, damn, hell to TVMA, which is not suitable for anyone under 17. I feel like there's a middle zone that they're missing, or a beyond zone. You know what I'm saying?
I guess I never pay attention to TV ratings.
Really?
Yeah, I used to.
Because you're an adult.
Yeah, well, there's
you can
that.
watch whatever you want.
There's that, but I mean, you used to notice it when a show would start. You'd see on the corner of the screen, but I don't really notice it anymore. I used to notice it when I watched South Park. That was really it.
I remember me and my buddy Aaron Henderson. You know, Aaron?
I remember Aaron.
We were trying to watch Scrambled HBO one night, and the Sex in the City was
Which
on.
is the best way to watch.
It's the only way to watch, and kids these days are missing out. But we were trying to watch Scrambled HBO, and we saw that a show called Sex in the City was on, and we're like, there's got to be boobies in this.
Oh, boy.
And at the beginning of the show, it said, like, you know, adult content, nudity, blah, 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 and we're like, score. We didn't realize it was Sex in the City, you know. We thought it was going to be, like, Sex in the City.
Yeah.
And, like, I remember we watched the whole episode, and, like, we were so upset that there were no boobies that we wanted to write HBO and complain for wasting our time.
That might be one of the best stories I've ever heard.
Those were the days, man. But we got a packed show for you tonight. We got our Wrestle News segment. We're going to recap a kind of lackluster Raw, and then we have a preview for Battleground, which is coming up this Sunday, so we're going to preview every match, give our predictions on that as well. First Wrestle News of the week is Mark Henry signs a 3-year extension running through 2016 to stay with the WWE.
Good for him. He's got some wrestling left. Hopefully he's able to stay healthy for the majority of that time. And that will that bring him into age 40?
Probably.
Or is he beyond?
I think he's got to be close already, if not.
Let's see. He might be 38 right now or something. But good for him. I hope he has a nice run, and I hope he has a title reign in there somewhere.
Yeah, he was great when he was running SmackDown, you know, World Heavyweight Championship.
Oh my God, he's 42 right now.
Yeah,
I'm an idiot.
Well, he's been in the.
I mean, he's been there since '96.
Yeah.
Because
he was in the '96 Olympics.
Yeah, he's in the '96 Olympics, and I think he showed up shortly after that. So it was late '96, early '97. So my math was off today, but yeah, he's 42. So that'll put him into 45 depending on when. He's a June 12th birthday. So wow.
Well, yeah, I'm excited about it. I mean, I've always liked Mark Henry. I think his most current stuff has been some of his best in his career. I didn't think he had 3 years left, honestly, but good for him if he can go. More power to to him and the WWE. I'm really happy for him.
Me too. I don't know. I still think they blew it with that Cena feud. It just ended so abruptly after that one match, and I think he should have won.
Yeah, it was a tough situation because Cena had just come off winning the title against The Rock, and it was a redemption storyline, so it would kind of be tough to sell to the audience. You know, he beat The Rock, who's supposed to be one of the greatest of all time, and then he loses to Mark Henry, who's never won a title. So it kind of makes sense. They just kind of booked it wrong.
That's
my
true.
opinion. Wrestle news number 2. We have an engagement in the wrestling world. Of course.
Not you and me.
No.
not the two of us.
Paul Heyman and Brie Bella and Daniel Bryan are engaged. He popped the question, and WWE.com actually had the exclusive on that. Had photos of the ring, the whole story. I didn't read it, but yeah, they broke it, which is odd for them because they're kind of pseudo news.
Well,
they're like PR.
They've, I'm sure we're gonna get to see the whole proposal on an episode of Total Divas.
I can't wait. Second half comes November?
I don't know.
I think it's like a month away.
Okay.
But there's a lot of different storylines that are going to be on that second half of the season here on Total Divas, I think.
I'm excited to watch the final 3 episodes I still have sitting on my DVR.
Yes, you still
that Breaking Bad binge has really taken me off my regular schedule.
And I have to say, I know a lot of our fans enjoy our Breaking Bad talk. The moral of Breaking Bad, pay teachers normally. Did you see Saturday Night Live?
With Pinkman.
Yeah,
I did.
It's like, yo, you don't want to hear what happened to my friend? Like the night before the finale.
And they're like, no.
I thought that was awesome. But yeah, I have to say, I love the finale of Breaking Bad. It all made sense. Like, it was the only logical conclusion for a lot of this stuff and how they had set it up. And they didn't try to go over the top with too much stuff. And just a perfect television show. It's gonna sit with me for a while. It was
so well done that I feel guilty that I watched it in 3 weeks from beginning to end and didn't get to appreciate the full 5-year life of it.
It'd be like chugging a $500 bottle of wine or something, you know.
That's really a good comparison. I mean, I'm just as drunk, or no, maybe I'm more drunk since I drank it so quickly. But I loved it. You asked me if I felt a sense of loss yesterday.
Yeah.
And really I don't, because it was only 3 weeks, but I do have a deep sense of appreciation for the show. It was awesome. Yeah. And I'm glad that they are getting the kudos they deserve. So well done.
Yeah, I'm really glad that they're finally getting the props, because, I mean, season 1 started with a bang and it was a critical darling, but the ratings weren't there. It got 10 million viewers.
Yeah, 10.3 million.
Which is, season 1, I think they topped out around like 1.5 million for an episode. And it's gradually gained from there. It got up to like 2.5 by the first half of season 5, and it doubled that to over 5 million second half of season 5, and now it doubled again to 10 million. That's an awesome
That's the crew behind the scenes at Conan. Even Skinny Pete's there.
Yeah, that's cool.
Great show. Wow.
But yeah,
so fun.
So good. Let's just make this a Breaking Bad show. We'll just talk about Jesse and Walter, Skyler and Marie and everybody.
Hank.
Yeah. I don't think our listeners will mind too much. But we do have to get back onto wrestling. Where was I now? Daniel Bryan, Brie Bella engaged. Congratulations to them. They've been together for a few years now, haven't they?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think almost 3 years.
Yeah, and I like how they're writing that into the storyline.
Same here.
Which they've gotten, they've started to do a lot more of that.
It gives the Bellas purpose.
Yeah.
And
the Bellas are face now.
Yeah.
And it's really weird.
Something tells me Nikki's going to turn heel. I just have a feeling.
I can see that happening.
But what it does is it makes you want to invest in them, because usually these Divas matches are throwaways. Because the show is the show now, Total Divas, it makes sense for it to be recognized on wrestling TV as well.
Yeah. I think it's great, and I like...
And I love Brie Bella. She's just so likable.
She is.
Anyway, she's this, down-to-earth vegan who loves her guy.
Who walks her puppy and just loves her man for who he is, and doesn't go after Randy Orton because he's a doucher. And okay, wrestling news number 3: Rey Mysterio.
Rey
Mysterio is looking for an October return to the WWE, and is right now at the Performance Center, rehabbing or training,
getting fit,
working
on his fitness.
Yeah, getting another knee surgery.
19 knee surgeries.
I'm not excited about his return because what are they going to do with him?
I don't care about Rey Mysterio at all.
He's going to come back, he'll win one big match in his return, and then he'll be jobbing again.
Are you talking about Christian or Rey Mysterio? I don't care about Rey Mysterio because his matches, more than any other wrestler, are the same to a T.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, somehow my opponent is magically going to fall into the middle rope and not the top rope, so I can do my 619.
Yeah.
It's just stupid. I'm tired of Rey Mysterio. Plus, he's never been a heel in WWE. I think the only time he's been a heel was when he was forced to be in the LWO back in the WCW days.
So we're talking about a guy who never turns heel, who has the same moveset. And we're not talking about John Cena for once.
No, but we're talking about another guy I'm tired of.
Yeah.
So they share that.
Yeah, Rey Mysterio. I'm really not excited, and but I don't know. I hope he comes back if that's what he wants to do.
He should come back in a cane mask.
Yeah, I mean he looks slower than he should come back in a cane mask. He looks slower than even RVD.
Oh, stop that. That's not true. He's still fast.
No, he's not.
When did he wrestle last?
It's been about a year, I think. I think he had a wellness violation and then an injury and then a wellness violation and then probably another injury.
Yeah, he's been known to have some wellness.
Which does sound like RVD as well.
Yeah. And Randy Orton.
Yeah. Yeah, but we'll see, I guess. I don't know. I don't even like ideal world. How would you book Rey Mysterio to return?
He performs to feud with he returns to feud with El Torito.
El Torito, the Mantar,
the Lil Mantar, more like Boytar. That's pretty sweet. I just coined that.
Nice.
I don't care about Rey Mysterio. How would you book him? He's just probably going to be the guy that they place on SmackDown so that kids can buy his merch. I mean, that's really it.
Sad.
I don't have anything for Ray. I'm not going to waste my time because I know that they would never do anything. But he would need to be a heel, I think, to be relevant. Just because he never has been.
You could like join forces with Triple H or something. You thinking or?
I don't know. I don't even know where that thing's going anymore. It's just frustrating that this Raw was kind of a faceplant yesterday.
Yeah. Let's get into that. Raw started with CM Punk coming out saying that the business thrives on predictability, which is true. A lot of tropes that we talk about, and there was another distraction pin, last night. But yeah, that strives on predictability. He says it's predictable that he would go after Heyman last week, that he would get beat down by his henchmen. He says it's all predictable, but he says he doesn't care that the history books say that Paul Heyman pinned him because he is going to put Heyman out of his misery.
He also made reference to the hometown beatdown.
Yeah,
which is great.
Oh right, yeah, another trope.
One of Vince's favorite things.
Yep, just burying the local talent. Brad Maddox interrupts and says he understands CM Punk, but what he wants isn't best for business, and what Brad Maddox wants is what is best for business. And he says that he's getting Ryback at Battleground, and he should stop running his mouth saying that he wants Ryback tonight. Big E then comes out for some reason and ambushes CM Punk, and that's our first match of the night.
It's because Maddox had him come out.
Did he?
Yeah, Maddox came out and said, you want to have a match tonight, or you're going to have a match tonight, but it won't be against Ryback, and that's when Langston came out.
Oh. Yeah, I don't know why they're having a match, but...
Because they need something for Langston. Right now he's doing nothing. And I'm just going to call him capital letter E. Or capital E.
Capital E?
Capital E Langston.
Capital E.
Cap. I'll just call him Cap.
They never resolved that storyline with him and AJ, did they?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
No,
another one.
And now AJ's... excuse me. Oh, it's early. AJ, it's early. We're approaching noon.
So tired in here.
AJ has Tamina by her side now, so there's no explanation for Big E not being with AJ.
Well, she upgraded to a stronger, stronger bodyguard there.
Stronger bodyguard, smaller cup size.
Yeah. Yeah, she was tired of being outshone in that department, I suppose.
It can take its toll.
Yeah. So yeah, that was our first match of the night. CM Punk gets a win. He actually hit a pretty good GTS on him, which I was kind of surprised he was able to, because he tends to have problems with the bigger dudes like that. But he wins pretty easily. Okay match, not anything to write home about.
No, I mean, it was all right. The wrestling wasn't high quality on Raw this week, but this match was two guys that I'm interested in watching wrestle, so it was good to see them, and it may have even been the first time. I think they said it was the first time these two have had a match together, so that was kind of cool.
I wouldn't doubt it at all. They've been kept apart in all their feuds. So that was kind of cool to see. Our next match was Fandango taking on Kofi Kingston. Kofi wins fairly quickly, which was a surprise to me.
I knew Kofi was going to win this, and I'm okay with it, even though I want Fandango to be on a roll. I don't want to see him losing too many matches.
Yeah.
But they've been clear in the last month plus that Kofi's a guy they want to stand out, and he's been on a little bit of a roll.
Yeah, he desperately needs a character change if he wants to do anything. He's to a much smaller degree. He's kind of in Rey Mysterio territory where nothing really impacts him storyline-wise. It's just like Cena. He needs to have some kind of wrinkle in his character and maybe some kind of edge. Yeah. Well, I'd love to see him just come out and be frustrated. You know, like, I come out and perform, I can do things that no one else can do, and I'm continually looked over just because I smile and I have a fun theme music. Well, screw that. You know, like, I want a shot. It's my time. It'd be so easy to do. Like, just be real with it. Like, if you were in that situation, if you were Kofi Kingston, you'd be frustrated, right? You'd feel like you're stuck. It'd be like you're stuck in a relationship that's going nowhere or something, you know? You can understand that frustration, or you're stuck at work and you get passed over for promotion or something. People can understand that. Write it into a storyline. Like, Kofi could definitely pull it off.
I like that idea, because you could go face or heel with that. You could have a heel come on and go, well, why are you being such a baby, or something like that. Crowd stays on Kofi's side. Kofi still gets meaner, and that would work. Or he could go the opposite, just be like, screw you fans, I'm done performing for you.
Just breaks bad.
Yeah, be the bad guy. So
he just slowly turns into an evil meth lord. That'd be awesome. But yeah, Kofi wins with the Troubles in Paradise. Or is it Trouble in Paradise?
Trouble.
Singular. Trouble.
I mean, at least that's what it is this week. They could change it.
Trouble. It's Kofi Plex. The Wyatts then come out and just talk, which was bizarre to me.
It was strange. A couple things. Strange that no one attacked Kofi. I thought for a second, only because all three Wyatts were standing in the aisle, I thought, is Kane going to come back and like beat up Kofi or something? That's what I thought.
It was kind of bizarre. They come out. Bray says he spent most of his life trying to figure out why me. Then he says, follow the buzzards, of course. I mean, I really try and listen to these promos that he's given, but they don't pay off.
They're reaching Ultimate Warrior territory.
Yeah, I mean, they're talking about stuff, and I get excited. I'm like, oh, I wonder what that means. And then it just goes nowhere. And then you get another nonsensical promo. Like, again, back to Breaking Bad. In Breaking Bad, if they say something, it's for a reason. It has impact later on. It makes something clear that you saw before. Pay it off. People appreciate a storyline where, 2 weeks ago they said one thing, and then it pays off tonight or at the pay-per-view. Don't just do stuff to do stuff. Do something with a purpose.
If there's one lesson I could give the writers or WWE period, it's that. You hit it on the head. Breaking Bad worked so well because the show was written, I think, all at once. I think the ending was known at the beginning of the series. That the writers knew, or the Vince Gilligan knew what the ending was going to be. And I think that's why it worked. You look at other shows like Lost, where from month to month, the writers didn't know what was going to happen.
Yeah.
And you see that with WWE. I know it has this pressure of having to have fresh content every week of the year.
Yeah.
Something new. But I think if they planned ahead farther up, and I don't know what they plan. I don't know if they plan day of, if they're writing, minutes before the show starts, or if they have it a week or two in advance. I don't know. But whatever they need to do, they need to work a little farther ahead, and I think it would pay off because it does mean a lot to the viewers. I mean, unless they're like 5 years old, it means a lot that there's continuity and that everything does make sense. I understand injuries happen and there are last minute changes where you do have to drop things, and then it does lose that, I guess, that linear feel. But try a little harder, make everything make sense.
They've done a lot better on, to be fair, they've done a lot better with that. But yeah, I mean, it's just missed opportunities. Like if you're gonna do something, make a reason for it. That's all I ask. Don't just throw two guys in a match just because you need time filled. Take a few minutes. I'm sure they got a writing staff of like 20 guys. Trust me, I'm sure they can figure something out for Kofi Kingston. I just came up with something on the fly in 2 seconds.
I think it would be great.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
Yeah, why not?
I also want to see Wyatt fight more. I think his character's hurting from not having more matches on TV, and it might be that they're slowly bringing him along.
Maybe.
We'll see.
After the promo, they announced that the Battleground kickoff match is Dolph Ziggler versus Damien Sandow for no reason at all. They haven't even been in the ring together, and the belts or the briefcase isn't on the line. It's just a match. Yeah,
it must just be, well, here are two guys that everybody likes. We need to find a spot for them. We'll give them the pre-show.
Yeah, it's sad that Ziggler is relegated to that role. That's kind of my like Miz role, That's where the Miz kind of fits.
Yeah, Miz and Barrett are like, what, are we the pre-show?
Yeah, yeah. Can we be on YouTube? We head backstage where the Bellas and Randy Orton are talking. Randy Orton, of course, mocks Daniel Bryan and Brie Bella's engagement. Says she should schedule the wedding before the Battleground pay-per-view because afterwards Daniel Bryan won't be able to make it down the aisle because he won't be able to walk. Kind of lame trash talk that he had, but I liked it.
I thought they have wheelchairs. I mean, he could still make it down the aisle. That was the first thing I thought of. Is that weird that I thought that? Trying to think of a logical way for him to make it down the aisle.
Yeah, dummy, Randy Orton, dummy,
you idiot.
He could roll down.
Plus, he doesn't even walk down the aisle. He starts. I'm the one who walks down the aisle. He's already there.
Yeah.
He could be laying in a bed. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, just chilling.
I'm the one who has to walk.
Yeah.
And I'm a woman. You're not going to break my legs, are you?
That'd be bad. Yeah. Although, remember back in the day on the WWE games when you could just power bomb Trish Stratus through a table and stuff?
It's funny that now they have the actual rules where it's intergender matches. You can't have men fight women. But in No Mercy and in WrestleMania 2000 and even in NWO versus WCW versus NWO Revenge, when like Elizabeth is Macho Man's valet, like you could beat her up, you could do anything. The women just couldn't get bloodied. That was the only difference. They wouldn't bleed, so you couldn't have a first blood match with women. You couldn't, no matter how badly they were beaten. God, it sounds so bad saying that, but we're talking in video game terms here. A week after or 2 weeks after Grand Theft Auto 5 came out, so it should be all right. But and now you can't do that. And I think in some of the, Day of Reckoning, I think you could have men versus women. I think for the GameCube, I think.
Well, we've really come a long way.
Yeah.
They used to have bra and panty matches too. I remember on like the 64.
On the Day of Reckoning for the GameCube, and maybe even Day of Reckoning 2, they have bra and panty matches.
Yeah.
Where the whole purpose is to strip your opponent.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. I might have to play that later.
Yeah.
Alone. Or not.
I'll be in my bunk.
You'll be quiet too, okay?
Alright.
Don't say a word.
Okay. This went weird again. But yeah, I really like the Bellas as kind of a face. Like, we've never seen that with the Bellas. And it's kind of natural. Like, they didn't really change who they were. It was just like Randy Orton was being a jerk, and they were sticking up for the guy she loved, you know? It's natural. It didn't have to be like, well, we're good now. Let's stop doing twin magic. I don't know.
They were briefly baby faces, I think, a few years ago. Briefly. I mean, maybe even like 4 years ago, for a small amount of time, but it didn't last very long. The beauty of this is that, and all jokes aside about Nikki Bella's breast implants, I used to not be able to tell the Bellas apart.
No.
At all. And that was because they had their characters really didn't exist. They were just they were there. They weren't.
It was just the Bellas.
There was no depth to
it wasn't Brie and Nikki. It was the Bellas.
Yeah. And now you
kind of like the Usos.
Now, because of the that's a great comparison. And I can right now Los Matadores would be the same way. Any tag team where the Bashams, I know you don't remember Doug and Danny Basham, but they were kind of the same way too. With the Bellas, it's nice because that show has given them, you know, substance to their characters.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to see a split down the road. I think after Brie won her match, when Nikki forced Charles Robinson to raise her hand too, I think that was maybe a little bit of a hint.
Although, if they're acknowledging the off-air things,
I know where you're going with this.
And Nikki is a heel, and John Cena comes back, how does that play out?
It could play out in a way where you saw real life couple Stephanie and Triple H get divorced.
Yeah.
And when Triple H was a babyface and Stephanie was a heel, so you could easily have a heel Nikki and a babyface Cena where they have some kind of falling out on TV, and then that's it.
What if Cena came back and he was just like a chauvinistic, like abusive boyfriend, and like just way like he goes way beyond the line.
You find out he was never injured. He just went to rehab for like anger management, and, like substance abuse.
Yeah, and that's why Nikki's hurt and she can't wrestle right now.
That'd be great, or that would be a great way for a heel to feud with Cena, to claim to have all this evidence against him that he abused Nikki.
Yeah.
Oh god, this sounds terrible.
It'd be so bad. Millions would stop watching.
Yeah, people would protest. Be a star, John. Come on.
And then I'd be upset. I'm like, that was my idea.
We thought of this.
Yes,
they stole it.
We thought of this terrible idea.
I want to see it now.
Yeah, just kind of. Well, I could imagine him kind of being like Ryback is right now, just kind of like, just passive and like really kind of like.
Nobody likes a bully.
Yeah, a bully.
No one likes Mick Boley.
Just seeing it come. Hey, babe. You know, you miss me, babe? You know, just like a total dick.
Like that Vincent.
Pops his collar.
Sounds like that Vincent guy.
Vincent?
Babe. Cameron's boyfriend.
Oh, right. Babe.
Babe.
They don't even pronounce the second B. It was always like, babe. Babe. Oh, my God. Yeah, we should see abuse of John Cena. Los Matadors debuted, taking on the 3-man band. They won a surprising victory over the 3MP.
Yeah, surprising. Where do we start with this one?
Let's talk about their entrance.
That would be the good place.
They come out and they have their Olay.
And their choreographed cape twirl, which they both struggled with.
Yeah, and
then they had that bull face come down and shoot smoke out of its nose.
I don't know. We're burying the lead here. Who do you know who it was in the costume?
El Torito. It was Rey Mysterio.
It's Rey Mysterio. El Torito, I don't know what the correct term is, but I believe it's a little person.
Yeah.
Dressed as a mantar, comes running through I don't know what it's called, but they're little red towels or whatever it's called.
Really, dude?
I don't know what it's called.
Is it a cape?
A cape?
Holy crap! What is a bull? Yeah, a bullfighter's cape, a red cape.
Sure.
Yeah, it's a cape.
Okay, so they run through his cape, and he's jumping up and down. And I thought it was a skit from like SNL or something. It was just
he's a wrestler.
So
Is it Masquerade? I saw somebody talking about it on Twitter. His name's like Masquerita, something like that. I'll have to look it up. But this had just. I think that they did it for the purpose of getting people talking and getting some laughs. I don't think they did it as something that ended up. It's like they were reaching for a wrestle crap moment almost, like a Shockmaster type deal, like that they were intentionally trying to do it, which makes it not as cool when you're trying to do that.
Well, I love how they have new names too. It's not Primo and Epico anymore. They're like. I forget what they're called.
Fernando and is it Ricardo and Fernando? No, Fernando and I can't remember either. And that probably is maybe indicative of how it went.
Yeah.
Although I want to see it again. I liked it, so I
did not like it.
I know you weren't a fan of it. You had commented to me that you thought they moved past that.
Yeah, like we've gotten. I mean, we've talked about it in recent weeks how they've gone more serious and they've gotten away from the Santinos and the Los Matadors and those kind of gimmick acts and comedy acts and just when I think we're getting away from it, Santino returns. He starts beating like the established guys like Cesaro, and now Los Matadors premieres, and they have a little person in a Mantar suit. It just doesn't sit well with me. It's like I don't get it. Like we're supposed to take these guys seriously as a threat, as a real tag team now.
I'm ready to see where it goes.
Fandango, he had all the momentum in the world, and he's still. It just doesn't make sense. I don't get it. Like. Just have them be real dudes. Like no one comes out and just dances, and I'm frustrated with it.
Well, I'm willing to give it a try. I was entertained by them.
All right. I was not, but I did like their finisher, the double kind of suplex thing. Mm-hmm. I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know what they called it, but I'm sure it'll be. Something racist. And underwhelming debut for me. But next up we had Cody, Dusty, and Goldust coming out with Stephanie and Triple H. Triple H is mad at the Rhodes' attitude. He says he's given them multiple opportunities for Cody to get his job back. And he says that Dusty is just mad that he could never hack it on the big stage of the WWE.
Speaking of underwhelming, I was underwhelmed by this, and I didn't want to be. I was most looking forward to this prior to Raw, and it just, to me, fell flat.
Well, yeah, I agree. Steph ended up offering the jobs back to Cody and Goldust if they can defeat the Shield at Battleground. Stipulation added, if they lose, Dusty loses his job at the Performance Center, which he's been working at for a while now.
Isn't he the GM of NXT?
Something like that, yeah. And Dusty, of course, accepts that term right away. So
American Dream, baby.
Dream, baby. And afterwards, the Shield attack all three of the Rhodes' family.
Yeah. I have problems with this. I think it's too predictable that the Rhodeses are going to win, but then I also think that they're not going to win.
I know, the Shield...
And they're going to get shit on.
Yeah.
And then to me... How are you rewarding the fans? You're not giving the fans what they want. So they're in a bind here because either the fans get what they want and it's predictable, or the fans don't get what they want, and it's WWE pulling a classic WWE garbage move.
Yeah, I don't know. It's they're kind of stuck in a couple of these things, like Randy Orton and Daniel Bryan. What are they going to do there? If you keep having the bad guys win constantly, people get disinterested. Just look at the NWO. But I don't think the time is right for either of them to win. I think the corporation needs to become even more powerful than they are.
They seem so disjointed now, though. 3-4 weeks ago, it seemed like they were going to be a powerhouse. They were going to be united. But now you're not. Orton's not the champion. It just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
I mean, the championship is vacant. I don't get it. I don't know where they're going. It'd be better if they were still to take a word or to take a term from Michael Cole, if they were still running roughshod over the WWE,
yes.
I want to see Stephanie, Vince, Triple H, Orton, Reigns, Rollins, and Ambrose, and maybe even another person, Big Show. I want to see them just a force to be reckoned with, not this disjointed group of what the hell is going on with a championless WWE.
You know who might be my
it.
pick? Because I don't think Orton's going to be the guy for Triple H, because they've kind of set that in stone. He would have given the title back to him.
Mm-hmm.
You know who would be a good pick for the face?
Is he currently in WWE?
Yes.
I know as soon as you say it, I'm going to say, yeah, you're absolutely right, but I'm trying to think first. I want to be able to name him. Dean Ambrose?
Close. Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
The guy has been put over constantly. He's got one of the most powerful finishers in all of WWE right now. He's got the look. He's got the size that Triple H loves. I think that would make a lot of interesting things in the Shield, because kind of Ambrose has kind of been the leader of the Shield.
Yeah.
And if Reigns kind of oversteps him, that could lead to a feud there. I think it would be awesome if Reigns was the heir apparent.
What would need to happen then is the Rhodes family would need to win on Sunday by beating Seth Rollins. And then Seth Rollins can take the blame.
Yeah.
And the McMahons can punish him for letting the Rhodes family back in. And then they could have Roman Reigns beat Rollins up as a punishment.
Yeah.
And then, reveal that he is their guy.
Yeah, I like it.
And what they could do is, to make it interesting, that championship match could end, I hate to say end in a no contest, but it could end in like a double DQ or something due to Triple H pulling some strings. And then having Roman Reigns win the title or be given the title or something.
Yeah.
Or you could have him come down and say, hold on a minute, player. This is a triple threat match now, or something like that. And then have Reigns go in there and win.
I could see a double DQ and keeping it vacant, and then maybe having a tournament or something. And there'll be like 7 guys named, and then like the last guy won't be named, and he's like, I have a special entrant, and blah blah blah, and it's Roman Reigns, and he ends up winning, and then that would give someone for Cena to come up against, when he comes back. I have a lot of faith in Roman Reigns right now, actually.
I believe in Roman Reigns.
Yeah, I love his spear.
I do too.
I'm a huge fan of the spear.
I do too. The thing I like about Reigns is, while he might not be the dynamic microphone guy that Dean Ambrose is, his body language is some of the best.
And he just reeks of charisma.
And Reigns and Ambrose also, or Rollins and Ambrose also have great body language. Reigns has the whole deal though, like his facial expressions, his when he after he spears a guy, when he pins a guy, after he pins a guy,
you believe that he can mess someone.
Yeah, he's a big dude.
Yeah,
he's got that shout. He's got the huge tattooed arm. Big dude.
Yeah,
cool.
He's got the good family lineage.
You've got me so worked up now that if this doesn't happen, I'm going to be disappointed. He could be their guy.
I think
that'd be awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. He's already in the regime. Not regime.
We can say regime. We'll say regime.
He's in the regime.
He's in the regami. He's in the regami.
So yeah, that's
he's in the pasta fagioli.
The pasta fagioli. Pasta fagoya. So yeah, that's my kind of dream booking right there. After the Shield attack, we have an R-Truth versus Curtis Axel match. Axel's dominating, and then CM Punk's music hits, which is the curse to to anyone wrestling. If they hear music, they're gonna lose.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, because you're in that zone, and then nothing pulls you out of that zone like the music.
Yep. Distracted.
Does that sound like the start of it?
A little bit, yeah. Distracted Axel gets hit with the finisher by Truth, and Truth gets the pin. Whatever. It's extending the feud with Punk and Heyman, of course. Brie took on Alicia Fox next. Brie wins, of course. That's all I have to say about that match.
Yeah, that's more than I have for that match.
All right. Next we head backstage. Paul Heyman. And I love this stuff. Paul Heyman says he's enamored with Ryback, and that he plans on giving him a proposal and proposing to him in the ring. So that's teased what we ended up seeing later. Big Show is mad as hell. He's backstage, and he's not going to take it anymore. He runs into Brad Maddox and throws him against the wall and basically says, "You get me Triple H, or I'm going to do bad things to people."
That segment was beautiful.
Yeah.
Because it showed how massive Big Show is.
Yeah, he just picked him up and like shoved him up the wall.
Like he could eat me like a popcorn kernel. I mean, he is such a destroyer. And plus I loved seeing we had more Brad Maddox time this week than we have in recent weeks, and Brad Maddox equals ratings.
I agree.
Dude's awesome.
I love Brad Maddox. I love when he came out and CM Punk's like, "Really? You got no theme music?
You don't even get an entrance music?"
That was great. ADR took on Ryder. There was a lot of squash matches tonight.
Although this match lasted a lot longer than I thought.
Yeah.
Ryder got offense in before, of course, tapping to the cross arm breaker. But
or is it cross arm bar or breaker?
It's breaker.
Whatever.
I was happy that Ryder at least got a little bit of time.
Yeah.
More, but again, he got a jobber's entrance. He started in the ring.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I'm giving up on Zack Ryder, and it's too bad. But yeah, he's just that guy, you know.
I don't know. It makes me sad. It does. I mean, I'm not kidding. He works hard. He's charismatic, and it looks like he's given up.
Yeah.
And he's just been pooped on.
Yeah. Well, it's frustrating. I mean, he could have that same promo that I said for Kofi, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Although he just kind of cuts those promos on Twitter lately.
Yeah.
So we head back to the ring, and Ryback and Heyman are out there. Heyman says he has an extra spring in his step lately because of Ryback and wants to keep that feeling for the rest of his life. Heyman wants to commit to Ryback till death do they part and make an honest man out of Ryback. And he looks and he gets down on his bended knee and he looks up so lovingly. that look on his face, like he just adores Ryback. It's just so brilliant. It's so funny. And he asks if Ryback will be a Paul Heyman guy.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
It was.
Like I said, the whole Paul Heyman thing, the Paul Heyman guy thing has jumped the shark. But hey, it works.
Yeah,
it's fine with me. I thought though he was already a Paul Heyman guy.
Yeah, but I guess they have to make it official.
That's true, but it's not official.
Consummated,
then. But it's not official.
It's not. He wasn't able to
because then the next thing we heard was
and CM Punk interrupts, jumps over the barricade, and looks like he hurts his knee.
Yeah,
unfortunate. Yeah.
Just devastating, and Heyman and Ryback looked on in concern.
Yeah, of course. The medical staff comes out and ends up he was faking it the whole time. Oh my! And he grabs a kendo stick from under the ring and begins hacking on Heyman, hacking on Ryback, and Curtis Axel, all with it.
It's a great painting of Ryback or Zack Ryder.
Zack Ryder, yeah. I love the stuff with Heyman and Ryback. I thought it would have been better without the CM Punk coming out.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. Extends the feud. But God, that's so. It makes me laugh so much.
Although Punk just destroyed that kendo stick on all three guys.
Oh yeah. He headshotted
Ryback,
Axel, didn't he?
Ryback.
Ryback too.
He may have headshotted Axel. He headshotted Ryback when he swept Heyman's legs. He hit Ryback. It appeared he hit him in the head when Ryback was leaning over the ropes.
Yeah.
And Punk was still on the outside.
We have to apologize for the noise. There's someone like weed whacking outside or something.
Weed whacking or mowing?
Mowing, maybe.
And it's a you got to understand. It's October 1st in Duluth, Minnesota, and it is beautiful right now. It has to be. Would you say low 70s?
Yeah. I mean, which is for us is insane.
Yeah, and it's glorious. So. We are, it's 70 degrees, 69 right at our house. which is unheard of right now for this time of year. It's beautiful, and we've got every window open in my room. It's glorious.
It's awesome.
Or I should say, inside the Podcast of the Immortals studio.
Yeah. Next up, we had Ziggler and the Usos taking on the Shield. Solid match again. The Shield always perform well. Big spear onto Ziggler by Roman Reigns. Get to win. I liked it. I don't know why they were fighting, but it was still a good match.
Just a hodgepodge of guys that they want to continue to keep in the limelight. So you had to have the Usos there, and
there you go.
It was okay for me.
Yeah.
I'm alright with it.
We head backstage. Big Show is still waiting for Triple H, but is met by police instead and Stephanie McMahon. Steph actually backs up the Big Show, saying he's been under a lot of stress at work and home, and even in his love life with his wife. Yes. I don't know how she knows all this stuff.
Steph knows all.
She must be on like Twitter or something. Like, just following Big Show at BigShowWife.com or what? No, not .com.
His wife's name is Bess.
Is it?
Yeah.
Wow.
He has it tattooed on the back of his neck.
Oh, I never noticed that.
Yeah.
Kind of lame, but yeah. Cesaro took.
At least he doesn't have it across his throat.
Yeah.
Like the Undertaker.
Yeah, I know. Cesaro took on Santino. Santino wins with a weird roll-up move that I heard was called the Cobra Tamer.
I thought you said Cobra Charmer.
Or Charmer, that's right.
Or was it Cobra Charmer or Cobra Charm?
Yeah, something like that. I don't get that move. I don't know why Santino's winning against Cesaro, but it happened again. And then we get to our main event. Daniel Bryan took on, and Randy Orton are having a face-to-face hosted by none other than Jerry the King Lawler. Orton comes out, says he'll win Sunday because he is genetically superior to the goat-faced Bryan. Bryan then says that Orton gets all the support from corporate, the push, the promotion, the billboards, the magazines, whatever. He gets all that. And he says maybe that's because in order to reach his potential, he needed that. And that's the difference between him and Orton. Daniel Bryan didn't need any of that to reach the top of the mountain. And the crowd just absolutely erupts into a yes chant, even overshadowing what Orton was saying while he was talking.
Yes.
Yes. And then Orton finally comes back and he says he doesn't understand what's wrong with Brie, a Bella, this beautiful woman, to just settle for the likes of Daniel Bryan. And at that, Daniel Bryan, of course, attacks and sends Orton over the top rope, continuing to attack on the outside until Orton reverses into the steel steps, just has a vicious attack again on Daniel Bryan as Brie watches. He gets an RKO through the table to end our episode of Monday Night Raw.
A great way to end it. Through the announce table. Loved the beatdown of the babyface to go into the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
I liked it.
I mean, it's pretty standard stuff, but yeah, I dig it.
I like it. But I have some sad news. I won't be at the Battleground pay-per-view.
What?
Yeah. I know.
Por qué?
I'll be out of town.
Where are you going?
I will be in Minneapolis all weekend through Monday.
What about our podcast?
I know.
Rapid reaction, yo.
I know. I'm gonna have to not be a part of it, or
I'm gonna have to ask James Andrew McKinnon.
Yes, you do.
If he will be my guest. I'm gonna get on bended knee like Paul Heyman. Andy, I know you're listening. Will you be a Matt Bush guy? Please
do it. And I mean, I could be on it, but I wouldn't really be able to contribute to anything because I won't be watching the pay-per-view.
Yeah. Well, that's a bummer, man.
Yeah. But this show, the ratings might go up without me on
it. we got to do what's best for business.
Yeah. And Andy McKinnon will fit in well. He'll do a great job.
All right. Cool. Well, let's do our Battleground preview. You said you got the matches for us?
I do. We have, on the pre-show, the kickoff show, Dolph Ziggler facing Damian Sandow, the current Money in the Bank contract holder for the World Heavyweight Championship. As far as we know, that is not on the line. This is just a match. I'm going to say Dolph Ziggler wins.
I'm going to go with Damian Sandow, actually. He hasn't had a win in a while. The Ziggler has been jobbing for a while now. I think it's time that Sandow starts getting on the win streak, and this would be a good one for him. Make it valid when he finally does cash in.
I think Ziggler wins because he's the good guy and there's nothing on the line, so he's going to win to get the pay-per-view started, make everybody happy.
Yeah.
Sandow can continue to lose because he has that briefcase and will. Next match, we have the Divas title on the line between... This is... Whoa. This says Natalya versus Brie Bella. This is wrong.
Weird.
It's AJ versus Brie Bella.
Yeah, it is.
So, AJ versus Brie. Sorry, people who wrote this lineup, you're wrong. But I'm going to say AJ wins.
This is kind of a tough one because
It is.
they've been pushing Brie. I think AJ's the pick. I went against AJ last time because I really thought Natalya needed that rub, but I don't think Brie needs the belt as much as other people in the roster.
Yeah.
Especially being with Daniel Bryan.
I
Although, if they both won on the same night, that'd be a good story, too.
It would be, and then as soon as Brie wins, you can have like the jealousy angle with Nikki.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say AJ holds on to it because I think it's not time to take it off of her.
Yeah, I agree.
Because she wasn't even really involved in Monday's show. She was backstage
She
watching
stood
on
there.
that TV screen with Tamina, and that was it. And to me, if she's going to drop the title, you're going to have some kind of intense lead up to it involving her.
Yeah, for sure.
CM Punk versus Ryback.
Wow.
Who you picking?
Man. You go first.
I'm picking CM Punk.
Okay.
And it's just going to be a way for him to knock down another barrier on his way to finally beating up Paul Heyman. If he loses to Ryback, it'd be a great win for Ryback.
Yeah.
But I just don't see it making any sense in the storyline.
If Ryback wins, it won't be clean, and it's unfortunate. I do want to see a clean victory on this one, so I'm going to go with CM Punk.
Samesies. World Heavyweight Championship, Alberto Del Rio versus Rob Van Dam in a hardcore match, or as they're calling it, a Battleground hardcore rules match. Now my question is, are they going to do Attitude Era hardcore rules or falls count anywhere?
This is the World Heavyweight Championship?
Yeah.
Probably not. I mean, that's usually when it's falls count anywhere, it's usually called falls count anywhere.
Yeah.
I still think Del Rio is going to win somehow. I just don't... Well, because RVD...
Yeah.
It has that break coming up.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't make sense for him to win it and then lose it right away at Hell in a Cell if he was staying through Hell in a Cell. So I'm going to go with Del Rio.
I am going with Del Rio winning, but being beaten up so bad in these hardcore rules that Damian Sandow is going to take advantage and cash in his Money in the Bank briefcase and become the World Heavyweight Champion. So that's my
quite
pick.
the call.
Yeah, I think it's going to happen.
All right.
And RVD might even assist him.
Wow, really?
I mean, post-match.
Sure.
By beating up
Like
Del
Rolling
Rio.
Thunder.
Indirectly assisting.
I got you.
Like he'll put a ladder on top of Del Rio and then do like a frog splash or something.
Sure.
And then he'll hold his ribs. Then it's going to be the Rhodes brothers, Cody and Goldust, versus the Shield, Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns. With
I think that
Dusty Rhodes
could
in
be
Rhodes' corner.
Yeah, I think that could end up being the best wrestling match on the card. I am very, very excited for that match, actually. And I think the Rhodes have to win. And Rollins will be pinned, or something's going to happen, but maybe Dusty interferes somehow, and I don't know. I think the Rhodes have to win. Cody's coming back, and they talked about him being a main player in this whole storyline with Triple H, so I think this is how he gets back in. It's going to be a thorn in Triple H's side. He can kind of team up with guys like Daniel Bryan, with possibly CM Punk in the future. I think this is where it all starts.
I'm going Rhodes family as well. Rhodes brothers. Like I said, if Shield win, I wouldn't be shocked because that's classic WWE. But you got to give the Rhodes family the victory and inject them into this feud.
Yeah.
It needs to happen. Have them be around for what I think will be a much better storyline. WWE Championship, Randy Orton versus Daniel Bryan.
Boy. I mean, it can go so many ways, and I mean, are we picking who's going to be champion or who's going to win the match? Because it's not going to end cleanly.
Give me everything. Who's going to win, and then who will walk out the champion? And your answer could be anything from so-and-so will win, no one will have the title, there's not going to be a win, there will be a draw. Because as far as we know right now, this is a standard match. It's not a no DQ match or whatever.
I still think it would be funny if Triple H ended up walking out as champion. And it was just like he just wanted to be champion again. That probably won't happen.
Oh, I could see it.
But I think it would be awesome, and people would be so mad. That would be great for business, really. I think the only logical thing is that Daniel Bryan wins but doesn't end up taking home the belt. Because obviously Orton's not the guy that Triple H wants, and this would be an excuse for him to find the next heir apparent. But it's not Daniel Bryan, and it's not Randy Orton.
I'm going to say Bryan wins the match.
Sure.
And I think he will leave with the title. I could see Triple H easily having another match right after that, and it involving him, and just he quickly pins the champion to win it. But I think that will come later on.
Does Big Show get involved at all?
I think he would have to. It made no sense that he wasn't involved in the last pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just a complete goof in the story to me. But this one, I don't know how you can't have him involved. But if that's the case, see, I still think he's going to turn heel. I mean, that to me, that's in WWE fashion the glaringly obvious thing, that he will turn heel. So I changed my mind. Randy Orton's going to win. Okay. And Big Show will help.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I kind of, I mean, there are a lot of moving parts in this pay-per-view for a 3-week, kind of throwaway pay-per-view. There's a lot of interesting things that could happen.
This is a lot less predictable than several. What was the last one we had?
What was the last one? It was SummerSlam and then Payback? No. What was it called?
Holy cow, I can't remember.
Wow.
Guys, help us out. Scream into your iPads, because you're watching on iPads, I know. Listening on iPads. Holy cow. SummerSlam.
SummerSlam was August.
No.
Danny Bryan won. And then what was the main event? Even
this is WWE not having memorable pay-per-view names.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
I feel like a noob right now.
I know. I'm totally blanking.
I think it was WWE Renegade. That does sound like one they would have.
I can't remember. Was it TLC? No. I really don't know. Wow, that's sad. Night of Champions.
Duh. God.
It was Knock. Night of Champions.
Wow.
Yeah. But that's how it goes with me for WWE pay-per-views, except for the Big Four.
Yeah.
And the Big Five when they had King of the Ring. I can never really remember the names. And then we've got Hell in a Cell later this month.
Yeah.
3 weeks.
29th.
I think 3 weeks from now. Yeah. So.
Or 27th, I think.
Yeah. It's a little under 4 weeks from now.
Yeah. But yeah, that's our show for us. You get
that's the show for us too. We're not going to continue.
That's the show for this week, you guys. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at ImmortalsPcast, at 97Bush, at Jamie Bellamy, at Wrestle News. Send us ideas for like your picks. We're curious to hear what you have to say. You heard what we have to say. I'm sure we messed up a whole bunch of predictions like we tend to do. But yeah, send them our way. Also, I want to give a shout out to my friend Dan Matthews, who made an awesome new kind of, I don't even know what to call it, like a photo thing. If you haven't seen it, go to our Facebook It's our banner now, and it's me and Jimmy as Wrestle Buddies.
It's also our Twitter background.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the old school Ultimate Warrior and
Hogan.
The Macho Man and Hogan.
Oh yeah, Macho Man and Hogan. And he's put our faces on him. It looks awesome. It's got the Matt Rule shirt instead of Hulk Rules. I loved it. I was not expecting it. I didn't commission it. He just did it for us. Thank you, Dan. You're awesome. I know he doesn't listen because he's not a wrestling guy, but I love him anyways. He's an awesome dude. Thank you, Dan. Appreciate it. All right, guys. We'll see you next week.
Thank you, WrestleNews.com.
Yeah.
Bye, everybody.
All right. Peace.